1923 just ended, and here are my thoughts on the series as a whole. This video has spoilers for 1923 season 1 and season 2. I was a huge fan of Yellowstone, especially like the first 4 seasons of the show. I wasn't really a big fan of season 5, especially with how the whole Kevin Costner thing went down. But I did enjoy the show as a whole. I thought that the show was terrific. And I was really anticipating watching 1923, which stars Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, just because Harrison Ford is one of my favorite actors, and I love Helen Mirren as well. I love a lot of the people in this cast. And I have mixed feelings on 1923 as a whole. I think that this series is good, it's decent, but it could have been a lot better in my opinion. I thought that the writing was uneven, and I thought that some of the storylines were pretty boring. Some of them were great, but some of them were really lackluster, and I just found myself kind of like dozing off a few times, and I wasn't really all that interested in some of the characters involved. Like, it wasn't as mesmerizing or as captivating as Yellowstone, unfortunately. I think that Yellowstone is still like the best of the 3 series in my opinion. I like the series overall, like I said, but I think that the show dipped in quality in the second season especially. Like, the first season wasn't perfect, but I at least like enjoyed it, but I thought the second season wasn't as good as the first season, and I felt like Taylor Sheridan really didn't know where he was going. The story felt dragged on, and it didn't really satisfy me in the end, I don't think. And I feel like a lot of people are upset of the way it ended, and they're not really satisfied either. I've seen a lot of comments online. A lot of people are upset, and I get it. I don't think that the finale of this show was all that fantastic. It was good, but it could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot tighter. And I feel like we kind of need a season 3 to wrap things up a little better. I feel like the ending was rushed. It was definitely rushed at some places. It's a 2-hour episode, but it doesn't feel all that like definitive end. Like, there's a monologue, a voiceover at the end, and that's not enough, I think, to satisfy people, the audience who watched your show. It just felt a bit lazy, I think. The ending felt a bit lazy to me, unfortunately. Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford were my favorite 2 actors in this show. I liked their storyline the most. I liked their struggles the most. I enjoyed some of the villains that they face. Not all of them. I thought that Jerome Flynn's character was the most interesting villain out of all of the villains that they faced off of. Whitfield, I just personally did not like. I thought that he was a very weak villain. The way he acted and the way that he was written. I liked the actor. I liked Timothy Dalton. I thought that Timothy Dalton did a good job, but I did not like the character of Whitfield. And I did not like the endless scenes of him torturing a prostitute. It just didn't work. It felt unnecessary. I skipped a lot of these scenes because they didn't add anything. We already knew that he was a sadistic man. Like, you don't need to show us over and over again. And that's what Sheridan did. He just showed us things that we already knew about Whitfield. He could have written him differently. I think that he didn't know what to do with this character. He just really missed the ball on this man, this villain. It was really just a missed opportunity, in my opinion. I also liked the storyline of Tiona. I liked the actress that played her. I thought that Amina Neves portrayed the character really well. I didn't love the fact that it wasn't really connected to the main storyline of the Duttons. It felt like its own thing, which was fine. I was expecting a little more connectivity by the end of the series, but I liked her entire story. I liked at the beginning of season 1 at the Indian school and seeing how she was mistreated by everyone. Wasn't a kind person to her, which I thought was a bit much. Like, nobody was kind there, nobody was at least decent. The nuns were beating her, they were raping her, the priest was beating the shit out of her. Like, the priest is one evil dude. And I'm glad that he dies. I'm glad that Tiona actually kills him near the end of the series. And the sheriff too. Like, the sheriff just kills everybody that he thinks is involved with her. He kills a bunch of Indians as he looks for Tiona. I did not like the sheriff character. He was a scumbag. And the priest is so full of himself. Like, he blames the sheriff for all of the death and all the carnage, but like, the priest is just as bad as him. Like, he is not a good man. He's just so full of himself. I like I said, the entire storyline. At least Tiona has a bit of happiness throughout this series. She finds love, she finds her guardian, and they travel the land together. I like all of that. But like I said, I would have liked a little more connectivity to the Duttons, to the main storyline. I felt like her story was a bit separate from the overall plot of the series. I like that she meets the woman sheriff, played by Jennifer Carpenter. Jennifer Carpenter is really great in this series. She's always good. She's good in Dexter. She's good in everything. And she's great as this sheriff, and she sort of questions the priest and the sheriff that's after her. Like, she doesn't really believe them at first, but then she learns that Tiona really did kill all these people. But these were intense circumstances, and I don't blame her for killing the nuns and the priest. They deserve to die. I'm sorry. Like, they were terrible pieces of human beings. One of the Indian sheriffs tells her near the end of the series that she did the right thing by fighting back, and she replies she doesn't know because it cost her everything. And I like that response, because maybe she would have done things differently if she had known, like, the amount of people that died because of her. I like that. I like the ending of this storyline. I like that she was freed, and that she can now choose her own path. The Duttons have 2 sons, one called Jack, who isn't really all that smart, and he doesn't do much in this entire series. I would have liked Jack to have been a little more important and a little smarter than he actually was. But the most important son is Spencer, who is unfortunately in Australia at the beginning of the show, and he falls in love with a woman called Alex, and Alex actually leaves her current fiance for Spencer, and the two of them receive a letter from Kara, who is Spencer's aunt, and she begs him to come home because there's a war coming, and Spencer actually agrees to go, and their journey is so dragged on. It is unbelievably long, and I feel like Taylor Sheridan didn't really know what to do with them most of the time. Like, it feels painfully long, and I don't think that it was the right choice to have Spencer arrive at the end of the series. I would have much preferred him to arrive at the end of season 1. I think that it would have been a much faster paced story than what we got. And I feel like most of the problem lies with Alexandra and Spencer. I like their chemistry. I think they have good chemistry with one another. I love the actor that plays Spencer. I think he does a wonderful job in this show. But I just think that their storyline is milk, and it never ends. It never ends almost. Like, you just don't believe how unlucky they are most of the time. They don't catch a break. At least they get married. They get married in season 1, and they even meet her ex in one of the boats, and her ex, of course, is angry with Alexandra for leaving him, and so he wants to duel Spencer, and Spencer doesn't want to, but he's forced to, and Spencer just kicks him off the boat, and I think her ex dies. There's no really like any confirmation that he's dead, but it feels like he died. That entire sequence is ridiculous, by the way. Like, there's too many moments that feel forced in this show, and that was one of them. Her meeting her ex on her trip back. It just felt forced. It really did. And then they get separated on this boat, and Alexandra yells at him that she's gonna meet him in Montana. And Spencer is taken by authorities because of the crime he committed, but he was forced to commit, basically. And so they're separated in season 2. Spencer needs to do a couple of jobs to win money because he's low on cash, and he saves this guy, and he becomes sort of friends with him, and the guy brings him to his cousins who gives Spencer money. This entire storyline I just didn't care for. I thought it really dragged the runtime of these two. It really dragged their storyline. And yeah, Alex meanwhile gets robbed. She arrives in New York and she gets robbed, and she doesn't have much money. She has very little, and she manages to board the train at the very last moment. And then she has to work for her meals, and she gets raped by a fellow customer who is just this really disgusting man who just puts a finger in her vagina, and he rapes her. And thankfully she is witnessed by this couple, this nice rich couple who you don't like at first because the woman is making like these really just terrible comments about people. You don't really like this couple at first, but they're actually not bad, and they help Alexandra a lot, like a lot more than they should have. And so they help Alexandra. Alexandra is taken in custody because she beats the man who raped her almost like to death. And the couple, they tell the guards and the police officers what they saw. Like, Alexandra is released, and they take Alexandra home when she is released. Now this is where the show completely misses the mark, in my opinion, where like the writing is just so dumb, it's unbelievable. Is when the couple and Alexandra, they decide to head out to Montana to the Dutton Ranch, but it's the middle of winter there, and it's full-on blizzard. This causes both of the couple's death. They freeze to death, and they knew what was coming. They knew that it was dangerous.
I don't know why they didn't just wait for the winter to end.
Like, that would have been the most logical choice. It would have saved all 3 of these people if they had just waited for spring. It would have been just the most logical decision, but no. Alexandra had to agree with them, and they head out with their car, and they freeze to death. And she finds a lighter on the husband that died. Like, why didn't the husband use his lighter? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would he forget that he had a lighter on him? He would have saved all 3 of them, actually. So it's really just terrible writing, in my opinion. And of course, in the last episode, Spencer arrives at the very place that she is. He is saved by Spencer at the very same day that she is stuck there. It's almost too unbelievable to be true. She is given a train ticket by the woman sheriff because she validates his identity. And so when he returns to Montana on the train, he sees Alex, and he goes right after her. He jumps off the train, and he goes after her. He saves her, and yeah, he brings her back on the train. The train waits for them, and so they are finally reunited together once again. I like the character of Alex, and I like their chemistry. I found her a bit annoying at times, to be honest. Their storyline was like just way too long. It should have ended way before. Like, I get it, they wanted to do it in real time, and they probably just wanted to show
How hard traveling was in 1923.
but I think that it was a bad decision to show it like that. You could have cut a few scenes out. And Alexandra is saved, like I said, by Spencer, but she has frostbites. She is almost near death, even though like the doctor on the train tells her that she feels her legs again. she feels like the emotion in her legs, and then she just dies like 24 hours later, or something like that. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous the way it went. Like, I would have much preferred for her to survive the ending of the series, and I think a lot of people did prefer that ending as well. I've seen a lot of comments online. Like, why didn't they have a happy ending? I feel like Sheridan wanted it to end badly because, like, he wanted them to have a sort of Titanic ending, like with Jack and Rose. But it doesn't quite work here. It just doesn't feel all that romantic, and I just didn't really enjoy the ending of their storyline all that much. I didn't feel a payoff very much in this final episode. And so Alexandra is pregnant, and she gives birth before dying, and her baby arrives 6 months early. I don't know if that's possible. Like, I don't know if he would have survived the birth in 1923 especially, but we just have to go with it. I think that this is John Dutton's father, like Kevin Costner's father from Yellowstone. Since 1923, it's not that far removed from today. It's like about 100 years or so. So it would make sense that this child is John Dutton's father, Kevin Costner's dad. Apparently, when they filmed the winter scenes in Montana, they were in the middle of summer, and it was like smoking hot. Like, the actress that plays Alexandra says that it was hard to appear like frozen because apparently it was super hot during shooting, and they had to appear like they were freezing, and I think that's kind of fun. The ending battle of the series I enjoyed. I thought that it was fun. It had good few shootout scenes, especially like at the train too. At the train, I thought it was intense. There were a couple of deaths. Jerome Flynn, his character died. I thought that he sort of redeemed himself by the end. Like, he wasn't as much as a douchebag as he was in the beginning. And then Whitfield's men, they come at the ranch, and there's a big shootout at the ranch too. And I thought that entire sequence was well done. It was the most exciting part of the episode. And I like seeing like Spencer arrive, and he manages to save the people at the ranch. And Harrison Ford, Jacob, is with Alexandra. He takes care of her while Spencer is dealing with the war back home. And Kara is happy to see Spencer, of course. And yeah, the entire action sequence I thought was really well done. It was really well filmed. It was exciting, actually, at least that. And so Spencer and Jacob, they head to Whitfield's place. Like, Spencer arrives and he knows exactly what's going on immediately. Like, he knows that they're like mistreating one of the prostitutes, and he knows which prostitute is the evil one. He shoots the evil one, and then he shoots Whitfield. It doesn't take long. Like, he kills the son of a bitch. And like, you're happy when he is killed at the end of the series, but I didn't think that his death was all that satisfying. I thought that it was a little too quick for Spencer to just like shoot him like twice. I thought that Spencer needed to take his time a little more with Whitfield, and thankfully it's not over. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed this series overall. I don't think that it's as good as Yellowstone, but it's fine. It's decent for what it is. So those are my thoughts on 1923. Let me know what you think about the show down in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.